Hi friends, I hope everyone is doing fantastic, and in this video I would like to share with you my journey of fasting. Basically, this is my only my second day of fasting, and instead of going through a journey and then and then kind of separating from it because I've already achieved a result and having a challenging time remembering what I went through every day, I decided to keep a diary and to share it with you right away, to keep this energetic flow and to also keep myself connected to the journey and keep you connected to the journey. So instead of going through the fast and then kind of reciting what happened during it, I decided to record little videos every day. And the fasting, I'm doing it right now on the Lionsgate portal, so it's very significant for me. I feel like I've been guided to this point by everything, by the universe, by my mom, by every event that surrounds me kind of guided me to this cleanse. Now, there's many different types of fasting, right? There's intermittent fasting. There is now what I believe somebody calls dry fasting, when you don't drink water either, you don't eat anything, you don't drink water. Well, I will be easing into it. So I will be doing exactly what my body is telling me to do, because I'll explain to you why, and it's very important. Because my body is very clear as it is. I have been working on myself and my clarity for 7 years now. So I trust what my body tells me, right? I don't necessarily believe that if my body is not feeling well during fasting, that it's some sort of a certain program that is speaking, or some sort of like it's a very popular understanding right now. It's the parasites inside your body that are asking you for sweets, and they're kind of sorry, there are mosquitoes, so I'll be eating once in a while. So that these parasites are in control, right? They're consuming through you, and they're demanding more sugar, they're demanding certain foods that make them happy, and then they keep you lethargic for a very long time and out of energy. So I'm going to pause the video for a second, because I'm standing on a beautiful corkscrew tree trail in Prairie Creek Redwoods and National Park. Now there are people on the trail, so I'm gonna stop, pause, and then restart so I can let them through. So the very popular belief right now, or becoming popular, is that about kind of these alien organisms living within our gut and dictating what do we do and how do we do it and how we connect to the world around us. And our energetic level is decided by how much they consume, right, through us. So maybe I have that some of that. I'm never discounting anything. However, my journey has been about clarity for the past 7 years, as I mentioned. I've been through many addictions in my life, and 7 years ago, I went through a very crazy awakening, and I'm still going through it. I think it's like one of those things that never stops. And on this journey, I realized that the reason I've been addicted to so many things is because that's my path. It's kind of like sound therapy, when one needs to find the frequency of a certain disease, and then match that frequency with the sound, and then become one with that frequency, and then raise it up, and then alongside everything bursts, right? So all the cells that are undesirable, that they can be bursted through the frequency of sound like this. So it on the road to clarity, I was asking, I guess, all the right questions because I've got all this incredible clear guidance. And the guidance was that I am to clear the bloodline, my bloodline, from these addictions, because a lot of people in my family were addicted to certain things, and most of their deaths were connected to these addictions. So I realized that I actually had to get addicted to many things, very serious things, in order to understand what they are and then get out of that addiction and kind of burst that within my DNA, that path within my DNA, so that my children and their children have a fighting chance and they don't have to go through these things. It was clear as day when this guidance came through. So coming back to the clans, and I'll tell you more about it in future recordings. It's been a journey of a lifetime. I've been on many cleanses before, and I think some of them facilitated my awakening and the clarity. And even though I was kind of oscillating, going back and forth between addictions and clarity, I think it was all meant to be. And without getting addicted and understanding the drugs or the alcohol, I don't think I would be able to ever relate to people in my family or understand what they were going through and how hard it is to change that, right? It's kind of like fighting a very powerful entity that surrounds you from the 360, right? And you kind of give in and you allow it to pass through you. And all right, we'll get back to that later. So in the 7 years that I've been going through this complete purification of my body, which I have achieved on many, many levels, I have quit all the drugs, alcohol and smoking and drinking coffee and eating unhealthy foods. I don't eat meat for a long time, but for other reasons. And one thing that was always kind of on my mind still is my sugar intake. And many, many times I feel like I was guided to stop, and I did not listen. And you have to understand, when you're at this level of clarity in your path, you don't doubt the guidance, right? It's usually so clear and so apparent that for you to not listen is kind of a crime. It's just because you're like being lazy or something. So that's kind of how I was with the sugar, and the universe stepped in and said, well, you're not going to listen this way because it's already written for you, and this is the step that you must pass to level up. We will, create circumstances that you're going to have to stop. And the circumstances were like this. I had to fix a few teeth. They weren't hurting as much, but I knew that I had to see the doctor to fix them because they were getting the fillings and stuff. I went to the dentist, and they did 2 fillings and 1 inlay on the very last tooth on the top. And what do you know? They screwed it up badly. I haven't been able to eat hard food for a very long time now, since that visit, since they fixed the teeth. Now, inside of the inlay was, I already seen many other doctors, well, a few other doctors, and they said they took x-rays, and they say that things were not done properly in the inlay, and there is a little pocket of air that is left, and that's where bacteria resides. And because the bone there is exposed, it hurts so much. So that air pocket shouldn't have been there, right? It's just a breeding ground for bacteria, and it makes my teeth hurt. Now, of course, the whatever the doctors did and denied that they did the mistake is on them. But I know that this was a universe's way to stop me from eating hard foods and to begin on clearing out my body, my system. And what I did was I had to move to juicing because I couldn't eat hard food on either side. Even the two feelings that they did, I don't know what they did wrong on them. I think from what I understand, they took too much out of the tooth where the nerve is exposed. But basically I can't press on these two teeth with anything hard. So I was kind of forced to juice. I got a juicer and I started juicing, and I'm so thankful to having been pushed in this direction to start juicing, because the clarity level raised up so high. The way I feel, the way my body feels changed a lot. And then I tried, first I was juicing, with like different juices, multiple juices, and then I tried to go a level up and do single ingredient diet, like juice or only on carrot juice for 3 days, let's say, and then juice only on certain one ingredients for 2-3 days, and so on and so forth. And that has worked out amazing, because I feel like I felt like that I'm giving my tummy a break, and I always believe that my tummy is connected to my thoughts, my brain, the way I understand reality. That if I overwhelm my stomach, then I'm overwhelming myself with thoughts. Basically, the principle of correspondence, as within, so without. If I am overwhelming my stomach with multiple ingredients that are hard to digest, then I will also be overwhelmed with many different thoughts that are hard to digest. And that has been true for me. This is not something that I came up with out of nothing. This is just pure observation, because believe me, I like good food. I love ingredients, many ingredients food, good chefs and all of that stuff. But it just doesn't work for me, because I my thought space gets completely overwhelmed if I do that. Lately I haven't been able to even eat sushi. Like I think most of it is in the sauce, all the complexity, because some ingredients can be very simple, but the moment you add that soy sauce or whatever sauce to the food, to the plain food that you're eating, or like oversalting it, you are changing the way you're receiving thoughts, and you are going to be overwhelmed. Well, for me, it was true. So I simplified, and it worked. And I felt when I was on carrot juice this spring, I felt absolutely incredible. Not like I've ever felt before. I have a couple of videos, I think, talking about that, because I really wanted to share with you. And again, I'm not recommending you to try this unless you're completely clear, because you need to trust your body. At the point where you start fasting, food fasting, you need to already be clear from alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, all the stimuli that can affect your judgment, right? So if you are doing, let's even drinking coffee, that will affect your judgment. Because I know so many people who are like, oh, I don't eat, like many spiritual people that say, oh, I don't need to eat, I can just eat like this and this, I'm already at that level. But I see them drinking coffee nonstop. So that's incorrect. That's not the way to go. You cannot do that, because coffee is a appetite suppressant. Of course, you're not going to want to eat. You're not going to be able to really translate or interpret correctly what your body is telling you. So do not try any of the food cleanses or anything like that if you have not let go of all the stimulants first. And if you are not at the point where you can fully trust your body and fully trust that you're interpreting things correctly. So for me, coming back to the cleanse, a lot of this was a continuum, right? So I started with letting go of addictions, drugs, stimulants, and then it happened. So I had to let go of sugar, and this thing happened, and I didn't. And this thing happened with my teeth. By the way, the little hole inside the inlay has become like a barometer. I don't know if that's the right tool to compare it to, but it tells me if I'm eating something that is producing a inflammation in my body, or if I'm eating something that doesn't produce inflammation. Because if I eat anything that can produce inflammation in my body, it'll start hurting right away. Basically, I can feel it filling up with bacteria and activating, and then the entire area in my teeth becomes hot. It becomes hot and it starts hurting, and basically intuitively you can just tell that you just ate something that is producing that sugar reaction. Something is decomposing, something брожение. I'm not sure how to say it in English. If I remember, I'll return back to it. Kind of like making alcohol, right? When it turns from normal into брожение, into let's skip that. So, and then when I'm eating stuff that does not produce mucus, my tooth is completely fine. And I'm drinking juice that doesn't produce mucus, my tooth is completely fine. The moment I add some sugar, the moment I add processed foods, bam, I'm in pain, right? So in a way, that's been such an incredible tool for me to understand how this works, right? And unfortunately, it has to be done like this, through pain, right? Because I didn't understand it the other way. Now, I'm gonna pause the video, let the people pass, and come right back. And now, coming back to the fasting, right? So there are many types of fasting that people are going through now. There is intermittent fasting. There is what is called dry fasting, where people don't eat or drink for a very long time. Some people even take away the sleep. So I will be honest with you. I never listen to anybody else. I always listen only to my body and what do you call it? Just common sense, right? So I've decided to share with you absolutely everything and how my body feels and what I'm going to do through this fasting. So I've been sent so many videos by my mom and by just signs by the universe that this is the way to go right now for me to cleanse my system, kind of just press a restart button to now that I'm ready, that I've been, on juicing for so long, that now is the time, especially that it's summer and I don't need that many calories to move around and be healthy. I usually eat much less in the summer anyways. So this was kind of a natural progression. This is a natural progression, this fasting. Now, I've started fasting yesterday, well, the day before yesterday. I had my last meal. I made myself some rice. I was driving to Mount Shasta and I stopped on I pulled over on the rest stop and I made myself a little bit of rice with some matsutake, a little bit of salt. I decided that's going to be kind of in my meal before I begin the fast. I had dried matsutake that my mushroom guide Dylan gave me for my 40th birthday, and I'm so thankful, and I wanted to try them, and I thought, okay, this is the best time to do it before I go into this fast. And that was my kind of last meal. I arrived at Mount Shasta. I went to sleep at the ski bowl right at the top, the highest point where you can park your car. And I woke up, I was not hungry, I did not want to drink or eat. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do this day just without anything if I can, right? So just this one day, and then tomorrow I might eat, tomorrow I might drink, tomorrow, but today I'm gonna just give my system a little break and I'm not gonna drink or eat. And it was very easy. I had a ton of energy. I was actually having such a euphoric feeling. It happens sometimes, and I'm always chasing that feeling because it's better than any drug when you're not overwhelming your system with food or with anything at all, and your system is just clean and pure. It thanks you back by creating these hormones within your body that give you this well, because I've tried drugs, I can tell you that it's better than ecstasy. Yeah, you actually synthesize that right in your body through clarity, complete clarity, and through not overwhelming your body with absolutely anything. So I've had this euphoric feeling driving all the way down. I was on my way actually to the Redwoods National and State Parks to learn about salmon migration. So I had a beautiful day yesterday, and then at the very end of the day I stayed at the Prairie Creek elk campground, Elk Prairie campground, Prairie Creek Redwood State Park, where I am right now, where the corkscrew is, trees, and all these beautiful giants. So I went to sleep, and then today in the morning I woke up feeling so weak and so sick, and like I was going to throw up, but I just couldn't get up. My body was actually telling me something, that something is off, and this is not my programs trying to scare me or anything like that. My body was actually telling me this because I have a very low blood pressure, that I think my blood pressure, because I was by the ocean, changed drastically from going so high up the mountain, like 8,000 feet in Shasta, and then coming down sea level in one day and without eating. My body could not adjust. This has been happening to me since I was very little. I haven't had an episode lately, but I remember even my grandma when I was super little, and I would get very low blood pressure because I'm also anemic. I was anemic. Sometimes she would give me a little bit of coffee when I would feel that way when I was little, because she didn't know what else to do, how to lift my blood pressure up. But I will tell you the most magical story happened. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about clear guidance. I actually have received a guidance about what was going to happen yesterday, about the change in the pressure. And this is how the universe communicated it to me through my car. I was driving from Mount Shasta, and all of a sudden I saw that my tire pressure in a few tires was a little bit low. I continued to drive because I monitored it while driving, making sure that it doesn't go any lower, and everything seemed to be fine. As a matter of fact, I just changed all 4 tires, so I was like, there cannot possibly be anything serious going on. So I continued to drive, and then as I entered Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park, which is a little bit further up, closer to what is it closer to? It's closer to the I-5 if you're coming from the west. So if you're coming from the east, sorry. So it's like the first park you hit on the way down to Prairie Creek Redwood State Park. So I know Jedediah Smith a little bit better than Prairie Creek Redwood State Park. I've been there several times. That was my kind of first point of exploration, and I kept coming back to a specific trail to just discover more and more. And I stopped there first, and I went out onto my favorite trail. I took a walk. I came back to the car, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the park where there is no reception, there is just this one windy road, one way. People have to pull over to let each other through the park. I got a message, that low tire message, and right away I knew that it's a message for me. It said low tire. I thought, I was like, oh, it cannot be possibly flat. It's probably because just went a little bit too low. And then I started monitoring it and driving very slow. I calmed my nerves down. I like just telling myself that this is a message for something, because this is also what happened. The PSI in my tire is supposed to be 36, and it went down significantly to 29 PSI, and then 2 tires were at 29, but one was lit up as red and the other one was not lit up as red, right? Which means that one probably had higher 29, one had lower 29, where it already triggered the response of the sensor to let me know to blow the tire up. But in the way I read the events and universe around me, I knew that, oh my God, okay, because there is such a difference, it's kind of letting me know that this is not dangerous. This is just letting me know that the pressure is low, It's fixable, right? But the pressure will be low, and it's bringing my awareness, all of my awareness and all of my attention to it, because before I didn't think about it, right? Especially when I saw the 2 tires going a little bit lower, I was kind of like, okay, let's go. But what was actually happening is the universe was letting me know that the pressure is lowering, not around me, but inside my wheels and inside of me probably, and that I'm going to need a little bit of help. And what do you know? I blew up my tires with some air. Of course, everything was fine, but this morning I woke up, and when I realized this low pressure feeling, it's kind of like low sugar feeling, very similar. You're just very weak and lethargic, and you cannot get up from the bed, right? Because the pressure is too low. So I've noticed also that people with high pressure, they don't do very well at high elevations, and people with low pressure don't do very well at low elevations. So I'm going to research that, of course, because I'm always interested not just in the messages that the universe is sending me, but also in understanding how it works here within the physical. So I'll research more on that. But I've already created a video a few days back, a video called "What's Your Elevation?" I believe that's what I called it, named it, and it is specifically talking about my understanding of how important it is to find your perfect elevation that is in tune with your system, with how your body operates. Because I see so many people who are dealing with depression, who are dealing with body aches, body pains, who are dealing with lethargy. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm sure you understand me. And to me, one of the biggest healers was finding Mount Shasta, finding an mountain, not only because it's spiritual, but because on that elevation I can function. I'm energetic, energized. I don't have to eat, drink, coffee, none of that stuff. It's just being there is the correct elevation for me. And I figured that out throughout the 7 years. Like, why am I feeling a certain way at the beach, but I'm feeling so much better there? And then it came to me, this complete realization and knowing that it has to be it has to do with elevation. And another way that in which the universe was telling me this, pointing it out to me, is my sudden interest in plants and how different plants thrive in different elevations. Because I would literally, I explore nature a lot, and I read the universe through nature. I let the nature speak to me to explain things that I can't understand. And then again, by the principle of everything echoing on every different level, I understand, let's say, how pressure works, or how in this particular situation, how we are just like plants, right? If you go up the mountain, you'll see certain trees are only at this elevation, and then it literally stops abruptly. All of them stop growing, and then other types of trees take over, and they grow a little bit higher, and then a little bit higher, and then on the very top you'll see just a few trees, and some of them will be very deformed, and you know, the same goes for not just the trees, but like plants that surround the bushes and the ferns and the different grasses and different flowers. They are they like a certain elevation, or they will move up elevation. Let's say like mushrooms, for example, the fungi, right? They will thrive in this one elevation while the weather is a certain way, and then as the sun heats up the earth and the earth dries out, they have to move up and up and up and a little bit higher and higher and higher. And you can find mushrooms by elevation, right, at certain months. So same goes for human beings. We're not all meant to be living in these big cities in this one sea level elevation. For me, for example, I have been going through so many things on top of, let's say my alcohol use, and I think those things kind of made me feel better. In a way, made me feel functional a little bit, or at least so I thought, because I didn't know any other way. But the original thing, the original kind of cause for my not knowing what to do with myself and often being stuck in bed and being depressed was the fact that I was in the wrong elevation. And coming from Belarus, I've which is flat. I've moved straight to New York City, which is sea level. It's like the lowest elevation, and I was okay there for a little while, and then everything just got very hard. Meaning, I'm not talking about how I looked on the outside. On the outside, of course, everything always looks great, right? We're always showing our best parts to the world. But deep inside, something was wrong, seriously wrong. And I thought, well, maybe it's just the city, is kind of consuming my energy because I'm not strong enough. So I moved to LA, which is not much higher than the city. Some parts are, but I've noticed again a change when I'm going up the mountains. I feel good. When I go a little bit lower, I don't feel so good physically. And then after clearing all of the addictions and all of those things up for myself and tuning into my body as much as I'm tuned in right now, I realized that it's the answer for me specifically. I encourage you to look into it. Yes, into the elevation. Are you living at the proper elevation? Because whenever I'm on the top of the mountain, a little bit higher elevation, my thought process is so clear. I am, receiving thoughts, and I'm able to articulate them. I have energy. I wake up and I'm ready to run. I have no idea, how many things in a day I can do with all the energy that I have naturally at that elevation. And then, look, I thought that it depended maybe on nature and being outside of the city that has all sorts of interferences like internet and other people. And I thought that being in nature is the answer, but it's not just being in nature. Look, I'm in the Perry Creek Redwood State Park, which is sea level, I believe. I'm right by the ocean. So I did not get the same energy as I got on the top of the mountain, on the top of Mount Shasta. So I actually believe that my guidance was to watch out for the slow elevation place and actually fasting in the slow elevation place, because my body will not be able to go through it smoothly, right? And I do not care about sticking strictly to anything if it hurts my body. If it hurts my body, then bam, we stop. So what I did, I had some kiwi in my bag from the days before, and I decided, and I ate the kiwi just to bring my blood pressure up a little bit, because I realized I have to drive, I have to be safe on the road. There are children biking all around, and my hands are like shaking literally, and this was, I needed to get out of this elevation. And I ate the kiwi. I felt a little bit better, not right away. I decided to go take a shower, which was a funny story because they have these showers in campgrounds where you put 75 cents in, and it's supposed to go for 6 minutes. Well, it didn't. As soon as I soaped my hair, it stopped and it didn't want to restart. So I was standing in soap in this little room with no water. Then I realized that there is a sink somewhere, so I went and I washed myself off with the sink water, thank God. But that has a lot to do, by the way, with where I'm going. So the second this challenge came up, meaning the shower stopped, right? I laid everything out. I calculated what do I need to do before. Like I opened my shampoo, I opened my little conditioner, I opened my toothpaste prior to starting the water, because I'm like, I'm gonna have only 6 minutes of running water. I don't know what it is, because I never count how long I'm in the shower. So I figured, you know what, I'll prep so that I have everything ready to go, and I don't have to waste time on standing under the running water opening up the bottles. So this was hilarious. I was ready, everything prepped, and I poured the shampoo onto my hand, and I lathered everything, and I was like, okay, I usually take that lather and I shave with it, with that same lather from the shampoo. So I put the lather everywhere, and I'm lathered up, and bam, the shampoo, the water just stops. And I only had 75 cents, but somebody left another 75 cents on a little bench right there in that shower room. And I thought about it. I was like, oh, that's how nice. And then I just started putting them back in, and they would just fall right through, fall right through, fall right through. None of them was getting stuck in there for me to start the shower. So here I was standing lathered up, and all of a sudden my mind was like a problem solver, right? It became so sharp. It figured out right away, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? Right, that I saw a sink on the way, so I can just go and because there is a drainage there, I can use that water, and it's gonna actually drain into the drain. So I was washing myself up in the sink, and all of a sudden my mind was boom, 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 firing up, solution, regardless of my discomfort in that elevation. So as soon as that was done, the clarity just came into my mind. And this is kind of the main point of what I wanted to share with you. From my understanding, we are, when we live in an incorrect elevation, when in a wrong elevation, when we're jam-packed like sardines in a can in big cities that are level with the water, right? Then the only way, because we feel so much lethargy and discomfort, and we're so apathetic. I don't know if that's the word, but you understand what I mean. It's like you are out of control. You can't control your body. You feel low energy, you feel low spirit, you're always in bed. It's hard to get up, it's hard to motivate yourself to do anything, it's hard to exercise, it's hard to do everything. So because you're living in the wrong elevation, because possibly your blood pressure is not cohesive with the atmospheric pressure around you, and that what your body is letting you constantly know that I can't do anything about it, right? Unless you eat, or unless you drink coffee, or unless you are going to be provoked into action by challenges around you. That's what I realized, that regardless of the pressure, when the pressure around me, the moment stress was created by that stopping of the water flow in the shower, I activated regardless, right? I had to go. I had to figure things out, be the problem solver. And I believe that that's what happens in the cities. We are being constantly provoked by stresses into action, not by natural flow of inner energy, just pouring out and wanting to act, wanting to be active, like I feel at the top of the mountain. I don't need anything extra. I get motivation. I'm motivated. I'm full of energy. I'm ready to go. I actually feel like I don't have enough time to produce, because so much is cooking, brewing, and being ready to put out. A lot of my videos are done mostly at the top of the mountain, and they just flow. I don't have to think about them. It's a natural rhythm, a natural inner flow with the outer flow kind of combined together in synergy. But as soon as I'm at lower elevation, it becomes a little hard to do that. And then in order for me to function, to be productive, an irritant has to occur, right? To kind of poke me into action. So I'm wondering if that's kind of what's happening to us people in the cities. We are not supposed to be all in those lower elevation. For some, they thrive in those elevation. You know, their blood pressure, their inner world, physical world is actually in complete alignment with the outer world in lower elevations. But for others, it's just not. And you're thinking, what's wrong with me? And you're thinking you're, a pathetic loser. Meanwhile, you're just in a wrong elevation. And you're beginning then to stuff yourself with food. You're beginning to stuff yourself with drink coffee to lift your blood pressure up, and you end up being addicted, and then you end up not being able to function without those things at all. And that's kind of this, bad cycle that you're getting yourself into it. So, okay, I'm gonna stop here because I know it's been a long video, but I want you to think about those things for yourself. If you're struggling with having low energy constantly, for it to be challenging for you to channel your thoughts through, to act on whatever it is that you want to do. Check in with where you live, what your elevation. Try going to a different elevation and see whether you're getting clarity there, clarity of thought, clarity of being, energy, and then let me know in the comments if, not right now, but whenever you discover that for yourself, how do you feel about that? Do you think that makes a difference? And also, of course, I highly recommend being completely clear for any of these things, right? Let go of all the stimulants. They don't let you interpret nature correctly. I've gone through that. I know you're probably not going to listen to me right now, but I've done my mistakes. So many mistakes where I thought, okay, now just a little bit of coffee, is not going to hurt me at all, and ended up realizing that my reality gets skewed. All right, because, well, we'll come back to that topic in the next video. All right, please like, share, subscribe. I am going to stop now. I'm recommending you to try many different things. Listen to your guidance, but first get clear so that your guidance is clear, so you know you're actually not harming yourself, because sometimes things get distorted when we're unclear. All right, I love you so much, and I'm wishing you I'm wishing you to experience clarity, even if for a little bit, to know what it feels like, because it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. Instead of, adding things, let go of things. Let go of things. Let go of things, and see how little you actually need to be happy and to be clear and to be full of energy. You don't need anything. It's your birthright. It's your birthright. You have it all within you now. Love you.